Right from the get-go, I want to say that this video isn't leaning one way or another politically. This is just an educated guess based on the facts that we currently have about what will happen to the video game industry once the tariffs fully take effect.
Bow to me.
To get a full grasp of the current situation, we have to wind back the hourglass to return to the distant past of 2022, when Joe Biden was Khan of the United States. Back then, microchips and semiconductors were primarily made in places like South Korea and China, but Taiwan was considered the undisputed leader when it came to manufacturing these items, and that is still the case to this day. Biden wanted to change this, and on August 9th, 2022, he signed the Chips and Science Act into law. It was a bipartisan bill that would invest $174 billion into the overall ecosystem of public sector research in science and technology, but more specifically, would bolster microchip and semiconductor manufacturing in the United States in an attempt to make the US less reliant on places like China and Taiwan for these products.
President Biden just signed a bill into law today boosting domestic semiconductor production and research in the United States. Top tech executives attended that signing in an apparent push to make the United States more competitive with China. The legislation aims to alleviate a semiconductor shortage in the U.S. that has affected everything from cars to video games. I want to bring in ABC's Zohreen Shah for more on this.
Enter March 4th, 2025. Donald Trump is the new Khan of the United States, and during his address to Congress, he stated his intent to end the Chips and Science Act put into place by Biden.
What? You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
Let us make Outworld great again.
A tariff is an additional tax on imported goods from other countries. It's normally used to incentivize domestic goods and make products from other countries less appealing to buy because of the higher cost. However, normally a tariff is combined with additional funding for those domestic goods, like the Chip and Science Act. As of April 2025, the United States is facing a situation where it is no longer on a path to manufacture these microchips and semiconductors on their own, as well as putting a tariff on those imports from other countries like Taiwan. Now, what does this mean for us gamers? Microchip and semiconductors are the makeup of almost all electronic goods, which means we can see an increase in price to things like computers, video game consoles, and controllers. Like with the pandemic, once new prices for goods go up, companies are reluctant to bring them down, even when the costs to make and ship those products go back to what they used to be. Which means whatever the price increase goes to, that will most likely become the new normal. One good thing is that most companies nowadays use discs for the games themselves, something that doesn't use microchips and semiconductors. However, cartridge-based games, like Nintendo Switch games, absolutely do. So we can expect to see those prices go up. Most companies are expecting the price of goods to go up with these tariffs. And again, like during the pandemic, I'm sure some companies will inflate their costs even if the price to create and ship those goods go unaffected. What I mean by this is, even though discs don't use microchips or semiconductors, I wouldn't be surprised if the cost of these things wouldn't go up as well. One would think that digital games that you download directly to your console would be a less expensive option over the physical copies, which kind of hurts because personally, I love getting the physical copy of a game instead of a digital copy. But again, if the company can increase the cost, it's my thoughts that odds are they will. Cost of games may or may not go up, that's yet to be seen, but hardware absolutely will. So, if there's a computer, a video game console, or a controller that you've had your eye on for some time, I'd say now is the time to get it before these tariffs go completely into effect. If you made it this far in the video, you can
Acknowledge me
by hitting the like button. This is a small act for you, But this allows for videos like this to get more attention, and it is very much appreciated. You can hit confirm that into the subscribe button and join
Literally millions.
of ShinFit subscribers. I post regularly, and I do a lot of live streams as well as community posts. So to make sure that you catch everything as it comes out, go ahead and hit that sub button. If you're into gaming content, there's a video on screen now that I'm sure you're gonna love, but more importantly than everything else, don't get beat up out there.